Hey guys, Ed here, bringing you a one-shot. Again, I cannot stress on how much I apologize for not uploading videos, but life makes it hard to do stuff. As promised, here's a one-shot, which is due to a bet by having a drinking game with Blaze from the Blessed Heroes and Kirisho. Their links will be somewhere in the description below. With no further ado, let's get into it. We start the story with a 14-year-old petite girl making her way to middle school, using her quirk in small bursts because she was running late. But she managed to teleport into her seat without the teacher noticing. Unfortunately for her, the teacher got used to her and developed a sixth sense just for her quirk usage. "Izumi Midoriya," the teacher called out while writing on the board. "Late again, I see. And how many times do I have to tell you no quirk usage, especially in school?" "Sorry, Sensei," Izumi said, feeling sorrier on the fact that she was too slow. "I got stuff going on and we'll talk after class," the teacher said, interrupting her. "Right now, I don't want to hear stories about how your hairdryer exploded or how the wind messed up your curls." "But Sensei, this time I swear it's because of a villain fight," Izumi said, pleading with her eyes while glaring at Katsuki in the seat in front of her, knowing he had something to do with it. "Kamui Woods and the new Hero Mount lady were fighting in the middle of—" "I already know," the teacher sighed. "When I put two and two together, I already imagined that being the case. So open your book and pay attention to the lesson." "Kachan, what gives?" Izumi hissed after the teacher turned around. "Why did you tell him those lame excuses?" "I thought it'd be funny," Katsuki said. "The better question is, do you think you did better than me on the mock exam?" "How much you want to bet this time?" Izumi smirked. "I'm not betting nothing. I remember the previous times," Katsuki said angrily. "I'm not stupid." "You may not be stupid, but you're definitely dumb," Izumi teased. "Why, you little—" Baku said, but couldn't finish because the teacher was glaring at him. "Mr. Bakugo, sorry if I'm teaching during your conversation. Would you like me to stop so you guys can share with the class?" the teacher said sarcastically. "No, sir," Katsuki said, shutting up. As class ended, the teacher brought Izumi to a private office. "So, Miss Midoriya, what is really going on?" the teacher said. "I've noticed for the past month or so, you've been all over the place. And I don't mean that because of your quirk. I can tell that you're stressed. Last time you came in with a bedhead, the time before that you had bags under your eyes. This time, I want the truth." It's my mom," Izumi said, sounding tired. "She's been in the hospital for the past month, so yes, I have been all over the place." "How is she doing?" the teacher asked, concerned. "Not too good, sir." "I don't want to talk about it," Izumi said. "So in other words, you've been trying to find a part-time job, helping your mother, taking care of schoolwork, training your quirk, but neglecting yourself in the process." "I actually found a job 2 weeks ago. I've been at since 4 a.m., Izumi said. "But other than that, yes, it's how you described." The teacher wrote a paper and gave it to Izumi, expecting a letter for the principal. It was for the nurse. "Give that to the nurse and sleep for the rest of the day," the teacher said. Izumi went to rest in the nurse's office, and as the teachers ordered, and after resting enough, she re-entered her classroom, as one of her teachers greeted her. "Ah, Miss Midoriya, I've been told that you weren't feeling good. I'm glad to see you're doing better. Take your seat. I have the test results for the mock exam, and I'll help you decide which high school to go to. As the teacher goes through most of the students, Baku spoke up. Hey, teach! Don't give these extras any hope, Katsuki said, causing the rest of the students to groan. They'll be lucky to be a sidekick to some random D-lister. Katsuki Bakugo, according to your test score and your application, you're aiming for UA, causing the rest of the students to gasp and hoping that he fails. And with how well you did on your mock exam, I'm sure you get it. Of course, teach. I'll be the only one to get in from this crappy place, Katsuki said. It seems that Miss Midori is also trying out for UA, the teacher said, causing other students to mutter amongst themselves. But sensei, I don't think the class weirdo is going to make it, a girl said, causing Izumi to frown. Besides, if she wants to be a hero, she needs to have a better figure. Her small B cups aren't going to help in the hero department. I think her figure will be viral, especially with her measurements. 78, 56, 79. The pervert of the class said, making Izumi uncomfortable, causing Izumi to throw a marble with force, using her quirk, teleporting in front of the target, causing the pervert to hold his nuts in pain, making his voice go high-pitched and pass out in pain. Enough, the teacher said. Class dismissed. Miss Midoriya, may I have a word? All the students left as Izumi ran behind. Miss Midoriya, I heard from Mr. Yuki that you have a part-time job, and the reason why. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. Isn't there anyone you can ask for help? Grandparents, uncles, your mother's friends, or your father? No, sir, Izumi started. My grandparents died when I was young. Mom was an only child. I can't ask for my mom's friends, and that man, I never knew him, nor his side of the family. So I wouldn't count on a pathetic scum like him to show up and help. And I hope that I'd never meet the guy, because I will make his life hell if I do. Understood, the teacher replied. For what it's worth, I believe you'd make a great hero, no matter what others say. Thank you, sensei, Izumi said, as a small smile appeared. Now run along, get home, eat, and get some rest, the teacher said. Try not to be late on Monday. Izumi exited the school, only for her to be stopped by Bakugo. Hey, Mom says to have you over for dinner, Katsuki said. How many times do I have to tell you? Izumi said. Thanks for the offer, but I can't. I have to go to the hospital, then go to my part-time, and then go home, and then to my other part-time. How many part-times do you got? Katsuki asked, sounding a bit concerned. 3, Izumi replied. Weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m., I give out newspapers. From 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., I work at a restaurant as a waitress. On the weekend, from 10 to 5, I work at a cafe. How do you expect you can become a hero if you don't train your quirk? Katsuki questioned. Where do we find the time for that? I train as I work, Izumi said, scoffing. They allow me to use my quirk to move around through the tables while I serve. And that's how I get up newspapers in the morning. Duh. And what about at night? Katsuki questioned. I doubt that little homework we're given will make you stay late into the night. Well, I sleep. Duh, Izumi said, chuckling nervously. And sometimes I watch videos online. Why do you ask? Oh, no reason, Katsuki said, feigning ignorance. I recently watched a video online. I saw this cute girl with a double D chest on a certain platform making videos. I believe her name was Misaka. And she was such an airhead. For some odd reason, she reminded me of you. Or rather, the way you acted when we were kids, to always get what you want. Oh, Kachan, you had me there for a moment, Izumi said, played it off. You and I both know that I can't increase and decrease the size of my chest on command. Yeah, I know, Katsuki said. But it's also true that you can't change what's inside of your bedroom while your set is falling apart. Izumi froze as she saw the smirk on his face. How? She whispered. How did you find out? Simple. When my buddies told him about her, I was curious. How do you think us guys figure stuff out? Katsuki said. But you tell me how you changed the size of your chest. I wear a curvier silicone bodysuit, Izumi whispered, so I'm not technically naked. Katsuki thought about it, and he started laughing. That's clever, Katsuki said. But the moment we get to UA, I want you to stop. You shouldn't do that sort of thing. Fine. I'll stop the moment I enter UA. Don't you dare mention it to anybody, Izumi said. But I'll keep my other jobs. The two walked in the same direction. Izumi entered a store to get some groceries. Baku saw a bottle with two eyes and kicked it, as a sludge creature came out of it and tried to steal his body. When Izumi exited the store, she found a crowd and a villain attack happening, as the villain held a hostage, and she realized it was Katsuki. She teleported in front of the villain to grab Katsuki. She teleported him a few meters away from the villain, causing the villain to be shocked. Who the hell are you? The villain said, glaring. You took my hostage. Now how am I going to get away? I have a lot of mouths to feed. Ew. When was the last time you took a bath? Izumi said, taunting the sludge villain. Oh wait, maybe that's how you got all green. You went down the drain. The sludge villain tried to take her as a hostage, but she teleported out of his reach each time. Stay still, girlie, the sludge said. I'll promise it'll hurt a lot. Let me think about it, Izumi said, taunting the sludge. How about instead of me, why don't I give you some flour? Izumi used several bags of flour and poured it on the villain, causing the flour to harden the sludge, turning it into dough. And, with the heat of the fire around it, the dough hardened to become bread. I can't move! Why can't I move? The villain cried out. You have become bread, Izumi said. Now you can feed a lot of mouths. No need to fear because I am here, All Might said, entering the scene. And I see we're getting crispy, my dear villain. No, make it stop, the villain said. Make it stop. And you, dear citizen, a job well done, All Might said. Mind if I take him out of your way so he could get arrested and become prison bread? You can have him. But just so you know, he's not gluten-free. So watch out for that, Izumi said. And as she made her way to Katsuki and kicking him, You alive? Stop it! That thing was disgusting. I leave you for 5 minutes and you get into trouble, Izumi said. You owe me 10 kilos of flour. All Might turned towards the two teens, but they were no longer there. In an alleyway 200 meters away, walking home. That was something, Izumi sighed. I really hope that saving your ass didn't interfere with my chance of becoming a hero. But do explain how you end up in trouble this time. It wasn't my fault, Baku said, clicking his tongue. 2 soda bottles fell from the sky and I saw eyeballs in them and I kicked them away. So it was your fault. Have you ever considered that someone put that thing in the bottles for a reason? Izumi scolded. Now I feel bad for not letting him make you his bitch. The fuck you say? Katsuki growled. In what way was I his bitch? The fact that he was 6 inches deep in your throat while you were gagging? Izumi spat back. I wouldn't be surprised if that thing penetrated that ass of yours, nor the possibility that you liked it, which in turn still makes you his bitch. Says the one having an OnlyFans page, Katsuki retorted. Wouldn't that make you a whore? Izumi slapped him using her quirk to send him fed first inside the nearest dumpster. Make that 20 kilos of flour, dumbass bitch boy, Izumi shouted. I hope that someday you get gangbanged, and I'll be there watching. The moment he got out to shout something, Izumi already left, frustrating him to no end. Izumi arrived furious from Katsuki's stupidity. She went to get ready for work, but she received a text from her boss giving her the night off. Having nothing better to do, she made to visit her mother. Once there, she entered the hospital room. My little girl decided to finally visit, Inko said. Tell me, how are things going? Hey, Mom, Izumi said, with a gentle smile. Everything's going great. I got top scores on my mock exam, and I was on my way home to study, but I thought studies can wait. What about your friends? How are they holding up? Inko questioned. When are you going to introduce me to them? Yeah, Izumi started a bit nervous. They're doing fine. They had some stuff to do, so they couldn't make it. Next time for sure, probably. You know, Mitsuki was here yesterday, Inko said. Why are you lying to me? What did she tell you? Izumi said, hoping for the best. She saw you working at a cafe and a restaurant, Inko said. I understand the need for money, but sweetie, you're only 14. Focus on your future. Don't drop out. Oh, I'm not planning to drop out, Izumi said reassuringly. I just needed some extra cash a while back, and one thing led to another, and here I am. But I intend to go to UA to become a hero. That's great and all, but you know how dangerous it is, Inko said, frowning. I don't want to see my little baby getting into danger. Mom, we've been through this, Izumi said, groaning. I want to be the best rescue hero. And with my quirk, spatial displacement, I will be safe. Guaranteed. But what about your 3-second delay? On the fact that you can't teleport yourself? Inko asked, concerned. Wouldn't that be an issue? Currently, my delay is only 1 second. And I managed to teleport myself, Izumi stated proudly. And it's thanks to my part-time jobs. They allowed me to use my quirk while I worked. So by the time I start my UA entering exam in 10 months, I hope to bring that delay to 1/4 of a second. Inko smiled at her, but keeping a secret of her own. 10 months has passed. Izumi was now in front of UA gates, ready to do entrance exams. She entered the auditorium, seeing Katsuki next to her, assigned seat. He looked at her, and his eyes twitched. What's that look for? Izumi growled, as she sat down. If you got something to say, then say it. What the hell are you wearing? Katsuki questioned. I heard there was a practical exam, so I came with shorts, Izumi clarified. Who do you think you are? The fashion police? Why can't you just wear a tracksuit? Katsuki questioned. Oh, come on, Ka-chan, Izumi said, whispering to his ear. Do you like what you see? Shut up, Katsuki said, blushing. A bit too loud for everyone else's taste. How can you tell a teacher of UA to shut up? Attending Glasses said, raising from his seat. You are making it impossible for us to understand this exam. Katsuki glared at Izumi, then turned his attention to the teen in glasses. Listen up, Four Eyes. Why don't you shut the hell up? Katsuki said with his short fuse. And why the hell don't we start this exam? Well, won't you look at that, folks? Mike said. It seems that someone is impatient to start. Sir, but there is a mistake on the papers we were given, the teen said. If this isn't a mistake from UA, it is unacceptable. All right. As you may have noticed, you were given a list of robots that are worth 1, 2, 3 points. But there's also another robot which is worth 0 points, Mike said. And it wasn't mentioned on the papers because it's a mere obstacle. As the students went to the designated area of the testing, the teachers watching the exam were very impressed by a single student, teleporting herself and discarded chunks of metal directly in the robots, severing the robots and destroying them. As Principal Nezu looks at some files. I have no doubt that this girl could easily make into the top 10, Nezu said. And according to some of her middle school teachers, mentioned that she's a hard worker, but most of her grades are mediocre at best. All Might, are you sure about her? Yes, I've seen her in actions once during the sludge villain incident 10 months ago, or rather, the bread villain incident, All Might said. And twice a week, I saw her at Deku Beach, making some sort of obstacle course with the trash there. I never seen such dedication in someone as young as her. I'm not sure, Principal, Midnight said. Her grades were on the lower end of the spectrum, but on the written exam she did quite well considering. Then let's see what she does with the 0-point robot, Nezu said, pressing a red button, releasing the 0-point robots. Let's see the students' fight or flight sense. Back at the testing ground, Izumi was doing her thing, disposing robots, until the ground shook, revealing the 0-point robot. Following what Mike said at the beginning, she decided to turn her back towards the problem. But then she heard a plea for help, making her freeze in place. She surveyed the area. Finding the source of the plea, it was another student, and they were trapped underneath the rubble, giving her flashbacks, seeing herself in that situation at the time before her quirk manifested. She clenched her fist because she started to see visions of the past overlapping the present. And then, with pent-up feelings of that fateful day that caused her mother to be hospitalized, fueled her resolve. And then she acted, teleporting in front of the student and teleported her to safety. Then she made her way back to the bigger rubbles. She teleported them into the joints of the 0-point robot, and then she watched how the giant robot was collapsing on its weight. And after the deed was done, she fell on her ass while her nose was bleeding, having mixed feelings of that night. To be continued.
That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more. Turn on the bell notification to be updated so you never miss a video. That said, peace out.